Welcome to our new video series where we get to know Pennsylvania's Secretary of Agriculture, Russell Redding. We're calling this segment 5 Questions with Secretary Redding. First question, did you grow up on a farm?
I did. I count my blessings every day that I grew up on a farm in Adams County. I'm one of 11 children, a dairy operation, and to then continue to work in agriculture, I think is a really wonderful gift. That experience is probably the most important part of my education, is to understand what that farm and the agriculture looks like at a barn level.
I know you came up through the FFA program. What was your most memorable FFA project?
I was part of the Gettysburg High School and the Battlefield FFA chapter. I would say the most memorable for me was being part of the agronomy judging team, and it's where I understood and learned about soils and plants, and that was all courtesy of a wonderful FFA advisor and teacher, Mr. George Glenn, who taught me how to identify plants and soils. And we went on, by the way, and number 2 in the state. This was back in the late 1970s. So still stands out as a great moment. What
initially surprised you about the job of Secretary of Agriculture?
You know, it's a significant post. I think it's a surprise to me. I came into this well mentored, I'll say, right? Having the benefit of spending time all the way back to Governor Tom Ridge and working with Charlie Brocious, who I met on the Capitol steps in DC when I worked there for U.S. Senator Harris Wofford, talking about a trade issue with Indonesia, right? So I had a pretty good sense, and then went on to work with folks like Sam Hayes and Denny Wolf. So not a lot of surprise in being in the position. I think what has happened, however, is the expectations of the industry have grown, the department have grown, and this awareness of expectation of where agriculture needs to be, right, in terms of economic development, in terms of jobs and workforce development, the quality of life discussions and health. The surprise has been just how robust and complex this job is. It looks like all of that diversity of agriculture comes to bear here in the department and on this position.
So it's budget season. How long does it take you to prepare for these budget hearings that you're involved in?
It's personally, I don't know whether you're ever fully prepared. And I pride myself in trying to give voice to all of the men and women in this department who work every day sort of behind the scenes to make sure that food is safe and land's preserved, and all of our plant protection, all of that is done, but those folks are rarely seen, right? So I put a lot of emphasis on, I want to tell that story as completely as I can, as truthfully as I can, in terms of the realistic dynamics of staffing and money and people and politics. So I spent a lot of time on budget prep. When Farm Show is over, that is my official trigger then to shift to budget. And I spend a month of time of really reading and studying, going back through the numbers. So it's a constant process. And then of course, the hearings is just like the first inning, right? There's a lot of game and ball game to play in, right? It's the introduction of the topic of our budget that begins, of course, with the governor's proposed budget. And then we work for the next 4 months to get to June 30, hopefully, that we have a finished budget that reflects the department's needs and the priorities of government.
All right, final question. What are your thoughts on Scrapple?
It has to be very thinly sliced. It has to be baked or fried hard. And I like a little bit of maple syrup on it.
All right, Secretary Russell Redding, thank you so much for your time today. It's great to talk to you and to get to know you a little bit better.
Thank you. Appreciate the time. Thank you.